Bowden, who played on that team. He's now a dentist here in El Paso, and our very own Darren Hunt. Hi, Darren.
Hi, Ashley. Thank you for that introduction. Very well said. It is Bowden. We've heard before,
yes, sir.
But it's Bowden, and I know that for a fact. Jim, great to see you here today. Great day of celebration for you guys. Does it feel like it's been 40 years?
It doesn't, man. It's amazing how quick that time flies. Last week we were talking about the 50th of the 66 team, and I remember that like it was yesterday, and now all of a sudden it's 40 years since we won the state championship, and it was just like yesterday.
We remember, I've never really been able to talk to somebody a lot about that championship game. You guys beat John Tyler, I guess 74-62. You beat him by 12 points. What was that game like in the atmosphere of that? Because I understand about 1,000 people from here made the trip up to Austin.
Yeah, we had a great showing in Austin. I mean, there were people making road trips left and right, and we had a lot of people there cheering us on. Gregory Gym was packed, and it was an electric atmosphere. Tyler had a lot of people there too, and it was a great game. We were down at halftime and
really?
Came back, and yeah, we outscored them. I think we outscored them by 20 the second half, something like that.
Wow, and this is Gregory Gym, so this is pre-Frank Erwin Center.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
I think we were the last state championship in Gregory Gym. Okay. I think the very next year is when the Frank Erwin Center opened.
I was able to go to the Final Four in '96 with Riverside and saw what a big deal that was with 13,000 people at a semifinal game. The hair on my arms is standing up right now just thinking about the sound of that. What was it like inside that gym that day?
Well, when you're on the court, you don't hear any of that stuff. You just play basketball. And, people always say, well, gosh, how was it to win the state? And I'll tell you the same thing that every guy on our team will tell you, is that we just thought we had won another basketball game. We didn't know what we had done. And we just thought it was fun to get to take a bus ride. And so that was the exciting thing for us, was the bus ride to Austin.
You guys finished 35-3, an amazing 35-3. What was the response when you came back to El Paso and arrived back after winning the state championship? You're still the only team to ever do that here.
Yeah, we had a big pep rally at Eastwood. I guess maybe the Monday after we got back, and it was a big deal. We were honored by the Sports Hall of Fame here that year. There were a lot of neat things that happened to us, and we just didn't know what we'd done. 40 years later, it's pretty, it's a pretty significant thing in the history of El Paso, but back then we just we didn't really know what it was.
Well, the great Bobby Leslie, great person, great friend. He was such an influence on me as a young reporter growing up here. I can only imagine what kind of influence he was on you all. We lost him this past year. What do you miss most about Coach Leslie?
Coach Leslie was just such a good guy. And he had such a gruff exterior. I'm sure that as a reporter, you probably didn't like him that much because he probably gave you a hard time. But that was just his personality. He's just one of those guys that love to give people a hard time. But you ask any guy that's ever played for the man, and you'd say, "Hey, I'd run through a brick wall for the guy." Yeah.
Yeah, he was a special person. Actually, he's pretty nice to me. I was surprised. I used to see him a lot at the dog track in Juarez as a kid. My brother liked to go there and run into him, and I got to know him on a different basis, outside of basketball a little bit. I played at Erwin, so he coached against me and played some games against him, but he was always very gracious and very kind. Now, Coach Pippin, he was an assistant coach on that team, and now he's the head coach there today. So some of the same faces around Eastwood all those years later.
Yeah, the tradition there is just so rich, the basketball tradition, and Coach Pippin was actually the toughest coach that we ever had. He was our JV coach back when I was playing, and he ran us. I mean, he almost killed us, and he's the one that shaped us. When we were freshmen, we won 3 games. And when we were seniors, we lost 3 games.
Wow.
And Coach Pippin was a big part of that. He's the one that really shaped us in our, sophomore and junior years.
Quickly, just tell us about the celebration tonight. What's going to go on this evening with the team?
Well, I know that we're going to be honored at the basketball game between Eastwood and Americas. It's a big game. I think it's senior night tonight, so there should be a big crowd. I know that we're doing some media work. We got the film. The March of the Troopers is showing over at the Montwood Theaters, I believe. Charlie Men Film. All the proceeds are going to Eastwood High School and to Debbie Lewis, her fund, who was a coach there at Eastwood that we've lost recently too, and she was a big part of us back then in 1976. So it's going to be a lot of fun. We're excited, and we got a lot of guys coming in.
Well, you guys are our heroes. You'll always be our heroes. We appreciate that. I ran into Tim Crenshaw recently as well, another member of this team. Boy, what a big-time player he was on that team as well. But we appreciate you guys. Congratulations 40 years later.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much. We appreciate it.
Back to you, Ashley.
All right, thanks, Darren, and thanks, Jim. Congratulations. Time now for a preview of ABC 7 at